What the hell is on the end of my rifle? No, seriously. The first time I screwed this thing on, I stepped back and I just stared at it. This is the Super Shorty Suppressor from Advantage Arms. 2.5 inches long, 1.7 inches in diameter. Stainless steel, $249. And it looks like a sex toy. I don't know which one.
You sure about that?
But it has that vibe. It is just so wildly uncharacteristic of what we are used to seeing hanging off the end of an AR-15. We are used to long, cylindrical, industrial-looking suppressors that make your rifle look like it's ready to invade a small country. This thing looks like it wandered over from the nightstand. And yet, here we are. Now, let's talk about the philosophy behind this thing, because this is where it gets interesting. I've spent years complaining about suppressor companies and their obsession with chasing the quietest possible decibel rating. Every year they release something longer, heavier, more complex, more expensive. It's like the horsepower wars in the car world. At some point you stop asking if you need 900 horsepower and just start bragging that you have it. Same thing with suppressors. Everyone chasing the quietest 5.56 can ever built. Meanwhile, your rifle now weighs as much as a boat anchor. Then Advantage Arms drops this little stainless steel thimble on my desk and says, here you go, 2.5 inches. Keep your balance, keep your handling, just tame the violence at the muzzle. And my first reaction was, this looks fucking ridiculous. See how humans work? You complain about something long enough and then when someone fixes it, you're offended. So I mounted it on a 16-inch Daniel Defense and went to the range. Now let's get this out of the way. This ain't quiet. If you're expecting Hollywood quiet, you are in the wrong movie. On an 11.5-inch platform, they claim it drops sound from over 170 decibels down to around 126. On a 16-inch gun, it is around 122. That is chainsaw to rock concert territory. That is not hearing safe, but that is not the point. This is not about eliminating supersonic crack of the 5.56. You cannot defeat physics. Once that round goes supersonic, you are getting that downrange crack no matter what suppressor you run. What this does is tame the blast at the muzzle, that part that lives at your ear. And here's the thing, it works. It is quiet enough. Not quiet in the sense that you want to flex on Instagram, quiet enough that if you had to use it defensively, you are not detonating your eardrums. That is the sweet spot. And because it is so short, it does not turn your rifle into a medieval spear. It adds almost no perceptible weight, no ridiculous front heavy swing. It just sits there. And something unexpected happened. Now, before you finish watching this video, I want to quickly talk about the hearing protection that I'm wearing in this video. These are the AKT1 blackout wireless in-ear hearing protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in a charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. This thing made my rifle run. Because it's so small, you're not getting insane back pressure, but you are getting just enough to speed that bolt up a touch. With the Geisley trigger in there, like this one has, this thing started singing. Fast and smooth, controlled chaos. It was like the suppressor equivalent of a minimalist chef knife. Not flashy, not oversized, just does exactly what it needs to do. And at $249, it feels like one of those late night Instagram gadgets you buy half drunk thinking it's either gonna change your life or arrive broken in a bag. Sometimes you lose that gamble. This time you don't. And here's the beautiful thing. We no longer have to pay the $200 tax. See what I mean? And here's the part that surprised me most. The more I shot it, the more I liked it. Not loved, but really liked in a very practical grown man kind of way. It does exactly what I've been asking suppressor companies to do for years. Stop overly chasing silent, start chasing manageable. This thing is manageable. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Advantage Arms sent me something else. The 1.75 SS suppressor. And first of all, whoever is naming these things, we need to have a conversation. Give it something cool. Because this suppressor is the anti-Super Shorty. Where the Super Shorty is compact and subtle, this thing is big, bulky, and heavy. And quiet. Very quiet. And here's where it gets interesting. It's modular. Fully modular. You can configure it long, you can shorten it, you can scale it depending on what you are running. 556, 308, all the way up to 338 Lapua. That is insane versatility. Most suppressors in that size category are easily pushing $1,000. This one sits around $325. $325 for something that can live across multiple platforms. Now, fully assembled in its longest configuration, it is a tank. Let's be honest, it throws off balance. It is not the prettiest thing hanging off of your muzzle, depending on who you ask. And when you start shortening it for 556, that is when it gets interesting. You begin tailoring it to the rifle instead of forcing the rifle to adapt to the suppressor. That is powerful. If you're someone who can't justify buying 3 or 4 dedicated cans, this becomes your one and only, your travel suppressor, your hunting suppressor, your range suppressor. You go from a short 556 setup one weekend to a longer, more suppressed 308 configuration the next. It's not sexy per se, it is sexily practical. It's not even really a word, but whatever. And there's something very Bourdain about it. Strip away the pretension, focus on the utility, let the gear work for you. So here's the takeaway. The Super Shorty is for the guy who values balance and realism. You want to tame the blast, keep your rifle agile, and not mortgage your house. The 1.75 SS is for the guy who wants versatility above all else. One suppressor, multiple calibers, adjustable personality. One is minimalist. One is modular brute force. Neither is trying to win the quietest suppressor in the world award. And honestly, I respect that, because sometimes the best gear is not the one that dominates the spec sheets. It's the one that solves the actual problem. And in this case, the problem is not silence. It is survivable sound. And both of these, in their own very different ways, kind of just do that.